Hello, Shadowpubs. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Not bad. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Can you tell us about you, what you do as a person, and what you represent on the Hive blockchain?
Well, I've been on the blockchain since August of 2016. So originally I was on the legacy chain, which is Steam. And I started there about a month after they started doing payouts because it was a new blockchain. The whole concept of social media was on a blockchain was new. And I just kind of stumbled across it, had no idea what it was actually, but I wanted to do some writing, so I thought, why not? Give it a try. So it's a whole lot different than it is right now. Things are pretty slick compared to what they were back then. They were pretty primitive. So then I started out putting a few posts up, and I was doing a lot of reading content, and I decided, why don't I just do a curation post, pick out the best of what I'm reading, and do a little review of it. Maybe pick about 5 to 10, depending on how good the content was that I came across that day. So I called it the Steam It Ramble, and I started putting that out every single day. So then, I guess I was about a year on the chain, and people started using Discords. And eventually I decided that I was going to give it a try, open a Discord. And I opened a Discord, and the idea was that people could drop into the Discord to give me links that they wanted to recommend to be reviewed in the Steam It Ramble. And then just the Thursday after the Canadian Thanksgiving, so it's the second week in October, I decided to do a little experiment and invite people to come into a voice channel and share content that they had on the chain. And that went over pretty good, so I've been doing that ever since for the last 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So then when the hard fork, when the issue arose that led to the hard fork, I did a few shows in my own Discord about it. Mostly I joined the town halls that were going on in the PalNet Discord, and those things were just absolutely amazing. 200-300 people in a voice channel, unhappy about the behavior of somebody who thought they owned a community that they didn't own. So when the hard fork occurred, I went with. Came to Hive. Originally I was going to write on both chains.
Yeah. And
then when they pulled the stunt on the old chain, where they literally stole accounts from people who were trying to look after the community, I powered down on the old chain and stayed on Hive. Never looked back.
Wow. Crazy.
So that's the highlights. What would you like to know?
What's your favorite thing about Hive?
I like the fact that it's a strong community. It's a strong community by virtue of the fact that we fought to be a community, and we fought to be a community that wasn't being controlled by somebody that thought that they could run a bunch of sock puppets and run the place. We don't have a controlling entity on the chain. The community sets the standards.
Great. So how do you convince anyone to come up to the Hive blockchain?
Well, I don't so much sell them on the Hive blockchain as much as I sell them on a place that they can come and join a community, and that with some work, like any other platform, they may be able to earn. But I don't sell them on earning in the first place, because that's not what anyone should come to the chain for. You come to the chain so that you can post content, you can get to know people, and you can become part of a strong community.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you on that. What's your advice towards people that come on the Hive blockchain with the mindset of making money alone?
people who come onto the Hive blockchain, there's two things they need to know right off the bat. They need to get their head around the fact that there's no central authority. There's no place to go and get somebody to fix something. You got to fix it yourself. Took me a while when I first started to get my head wrapped around the fact that there's nobody running the place. We're all responsible for how the place runs. The second thing is that Hive blockchain is no different than any other platform. If you want to get yourself known on the platform, you're going to have to do some work. That means you're going to need to go and visit other people's accounts, do some reading, leave some real comments, develop conversations, develop relationships. Unlike other platforms, there's not an algorithm that's going to feed you up all the content that you want to see because you've chosen to go look at some other content. So you're going to have to find that. But the really good thing about that is, if I was on a platform that was feeding me up algorithms, they would pretty much give me content from people in North America, because that's where I am. Being on the Hive blockchain, I find content from people all over the world. And that reminds us all that we're a global community.
Thank you so much. So, can you tell us about the PYPT?
And that is what that experiment that I did that Thursday after Thanksgiving became.
Can you tell us more about
your post? Pardon?
I said, can you tell us more about it?
Yeah. So
okay,
I did that little experiment, and I had, I don't know, I think there was maybe 7 or 8 people that were in the show, and I didn't record that one, which is kind of too bad. But anyways, I didn't record it. It went over pretty good. People enjoyed it. They asked to have it more, so I did. I carried on doing it, and it became Pimp Your Post Thursday. And it's fairly straightforward. It's currently being hosted in the Dreamport Discord. And you join the voice channel, and there's an emoji I have created that is used only for PYPT. And you drop an emoji into a text channel, and I add you to a list to take a turn. And when I call on you, you put your link that you want to share into the text channel, and you come on voice and you tell us about it. And if for some reason you can't share on voice, then you can share by text, but you've got to have both ready at the same time, so people aren't sitting there waiting for you to type up a description. And people talk about their posts, and we talk about the content. Sometimes we go off on different conversations that take us in a different direction, and then after a bit I bring it back and the next person takes their turn. And sometimes the post gets shared, and we speak briefly and move on. Just depends what gets sparked.
Wow.
So we've been doing that every Thursday now for 7 years.
Wow. What time on Thursday is it always being hosted?
Noon Eastern. So anyone that is kind of curious about it, they can visit my profile, which of course is Shadowspub, at Shadowspub. And the recordings from each of the shows have been that I've done are on there. And you can listen to a show and take a look at the post. So we do the show on Thursday, and then on Monday I prepare the video and I upload it to YouTube. And then I prepare what I call a recap post. And it's got the recording in it. And it's got the list of all the posts that were shared and links to the post. And it also lets people know who won some of the stuff that was given away during the show.
Wow, that's really nice and interesting. Well done.
Yeah, we tend to have a lot of fun. The communities form there. People get to know each other. It's a great way, especially when you're new, it's a great way to become known, because you get to know people there and they get to know you. And the idea is that if you come in and share a post, that you go visit other people's posts and they visit yours.
Great. That's great. So what additional feature would you have loved to add to the Hive blockchain if you could?
what would I love to add to the Hive blockchain? Well, I'll tell you, it's not so much added to the Hive blockchain, but a payment system that could be utilized so that, say I'm doing something, I am going to be doing something. For example, I'm going to be setting up a website in 2025 where I'm going to be selling some of my my work. I'd love to be able to have a plugin that works in WordPress, and I can say, pay me in Hive or pay me in HBD. There was one, but it hasn't been maintained. But I would like to see something like that available, because that extends out the usability of HBD and Hive to websites that are on the Web 2 platform, or websites that are on Web 2 can offer that you can pay in crypto. I'd love to be able to do that.
Wow. We look up to seeing these additional features very soon. So a lot of people making use of it is a dream coming true for us. Thank you so much for coming up stage with me, and it was really nice seeing you around. It's a lot of lessons been learned. And then, would you love to give a shout out to anyone?
Oh man, there's so many I'd probably forget half of them. There's some really fantastic people on this chain, and I really hesitate to throw names out because there are so many, But we've got some hardworking people on the chain. I'll give Guilty credit, since Guilty came to me and asked me if you and I could meet. So I'm going to give him credit because he's a hard worker. And then there's Crimson Clad, people like Snook, newer people to the chain like Alessandra White. I know her through the Creative Work Hour that I belong to, and she's joined Hive, and she goes out and talks to groups about Hive at times. I think she may even have a spot or two coming up soon. And then, of course, there's my sister Artemis North. I'll give her a shout out because she's family. And I probably should stop there before I really put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming up stage with me. It's really nice to have you here. And a big shout out goes to Guilty Party for introducing you to me and then making it possible for us to connect and then come up stage for the podcast show. Thank you so much, Shadows.
Nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you too. Thank you so much, and then it's a privilege to have you here. And I see you soon. I wish you, and then Happy New Year to you in advance.
Pardon? Yes, Happy New Year as well. I keep forgetting it's the end of the year already.
And then with this, we've come to the end of our podcast with Shadowspub, and this is gonna be the last podcast we'll be having for the year. Thank you so much, Shadowspub.
Take care now.
Yeah, you too. Have a great day ahead. Bye, Shadowspub. Thank you so much, Starstring01. Thank you. I really appreciate you for all you do for this podcast show. Thank you so much, boss.